Welcome back to Counterculture. Nobody knows, because we were ahead in taping, but nobody knows that you've been gone for a little bit, right? And so really I'm welcoming you back to Counterculture, but they don't know that.
They don't know that.
But
now they do. Now they do.
And now that they know, they're responsible.
Inquiring minds want to know.
That's right. Now they want to know why you haven't been here. So now they have to go and they have to watch Chasing the Wind
And
or Moments of
Mark.
Mark so
Right,
that they can
right.
figure it all out. See
Right.
how I've tied this all in?
You have now. They have to go on a hunt.
I know. It's kind of calling our culture. We want things instantaneously.
Oh,
But
wonderful segue.
Instead, we're gonna make you search for things.
Yes.
Hey, the Bible talks about that, right? The
Yes.
Bible talks about that there is seasons for everything, right?
We had joy. We had fun. We had. Okay. Now I just dated myself.
There you go. There you go. So
Didn't I? Seasons
now there's a
in the
bunch of people looking and going.
Time in a
"Oh."
bottle. We were just talking
I
about
know.
time in a bottle. Man.
See, I like Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time.
Yes.
That dates me.
Now I could really date myself because I like old big band music. This stuff
Yeah,
from the 40s.
yeah.
You know, sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar
I
at
like that song
supper time.
too. See,
The song was called Sugar Time. Yeah. Okay.
Now we
okay.
got-
Now we have digressed.
now
Get
a bunch
back
of
on-
people are singing.
I know.
That's
I know.
all they're doing. Hey,
Back on track.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, super familiar, right?
Right.
We're at tons of funerals, tons of memorial services, tons of times when we want people to understand, hey, you're just going through a season. But look on the bright side, there's another season coming. We're just not really sure when that's coming.
Times of seasons are for seasoning
Ooh,
our lives. Did I just steal the show?
no, but
No.
I'm thinking you ought to do a Chasing the Wind,
I
Moments of
should.
Mark, and a Counterculture with that.
Write that down. Write that down.
Somebody, please write that.
Write that down and
Yes.
comment so I don't forget because
Do you know
I'm
how
a
many
little bit
times-
older now.
How many times we're in something and then we're like, oh, that should be
That
a
should
show.
be a thing, yeah.
The problem is when you're doing a show with another person, then you're like, well, I want to steal it. No, I want it to be mine, type of thing. So Ecclesiastes chapter 3 says, for everything there's a season to be seasoned. I didn't
Right.
just add to the word, I just expounded upon what it means.
Right.
And a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born, time to die, time to plant, time to pluck up what is planted, time to kill, and time to heal, time to break down, time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, that's I'm not really good at, and a time to speak, time to love, time to hate, of war, and a time for peace. We live in a world where culture attempts to really stop this from happening. If we really stop and look at it, we attempt to really prolong seasons. We attempt to live in only certain seasons, right? We have an attempt to want to make sure, hey, that we just stay in this season of prosperity forever and ever and ever and ever. The Bible says, no, listen, there's a time for both, right? And again, I love what you said because it fits in perfectly, and you had no idea what we were going to talk about. This idea that, when we rob ourselves of some of these seasons, some of this time, we're robbing ourselves of seasoning, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we see that in our culture today. We see people who don't want to mourn, people who don't want to go through hard things, who don't want to do things that are going to season them. So, Pastor Mark, you being the wiser one of the two of us, I didn't say older, just said wiser, right? The wiser one of us too. How do we encourage people to not only suffer through these seasons, but maybe do a little bit of embracing of these seasons?
Well, it's interesting to me because we live in a society that is, we don't want the pain.
Right. Exactly.
We have wound cream that has pain relief in it.
That's
So that
true.
so now we don't have to feel that. We have, that's why many people do drugs. You know, Tracy Strawberry, I've said it here many times, pick your poison. What is the thing you do? And it doesn't have to be a substance in our, it can be retail therapy, TV therapy, food therapy, whatever. I'm just going to do whatever I'm going to do so that I don't have to feel the pain.
Yep.
It can be drugs. It can be morphine. Anything so that I don't have to feel pain. And I certainly don't want to.
Yeah.
If I'm having a tooth pulled or they're going to do surgery on me, I've had a couple surgeries done on me. I prefer that they put me under so I don't have to feel the pain. They give me pain pills afterward. I try not to use them because I'm like, it's very, we and parents do, you know, so now you can't get offended because someone, they might have to actually look at why they're offended. Pain tells us that there's something that we need to look at.
Amen. Yep.
If you know, I actually have been having some pain from, and I think it involves I slipped on the snow and I think I pulled something. That tells me something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take care of it, and I need to figure out what it is and how I need to take care of it so that I can heal.
Ooh. Ooh.
And so one of the things that I've told people, I went through this. I'm just going to share a little personal story where I was going through some counseling and I had gone through a little bit of a traumatic experience. And I remember going home after this one particular counseling session, and like the next day, I mean, I was just, the emotional pain was so bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I called my counselor because he said, hey, if you need me, you call me. So I called him and I said, I think I understand now why a person can hurt bad enough that they want to take their own life.
Mm.
And his next question, where are you at?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
I says, I don't have a plan. The door is unlocked, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're okay.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about it, you know. But he goes, well, do you want to meet right now? And I said, no. I knew enough from helping other people. I said, I need to feel this and sit with this because it's telling me something.
Yep.
It's telling me something.
Yep.
And so we sometimes avoid those things, but they are times to grow, to be seasoned.
See, I love that.
Spoiler alert for my other shows. My mother passed away. That hurts.
Yeah.
It's not fun, but it's part of life. And pain is a part of life. In this world, you will have trouble, Jesus said.
Amen.
And there is pain. Jesus comforts us in our pain. It's like I say to people, my congregation, we all want to see a miracle as long as we're not the one that needs a miracle. We all want to see someone healed as long as we're not miraculously healed, as long as we're not the one that needs it.
Yep.
And we all want God to comfort us, but we don't want to have to be in situations where we have to be comforted.
Nope.
And so we're going to have situations in life. And whether we like them or not, it is part of living. If you do not have, you know, pain brings up stuff in us that we need to take a look at and not run from, but lean into and say, what is this about?
Yeah.
What is this about? And what can I learn from it? How can I be seasoned in this season of pain?
Yeah, well, you know, we live, like I said, we live in a culture that is trying anything
Yeah, just
to
don't
get
feel
away
pain. Yeah.
from that, right? And the whole idea, I love what you said. You know, listen, the pain tells me something's wrong. The pain tells me something off. And I think we have people today who are thinking about that, whether it's politics or health or whatever it is, they just sense there's something wrong. There's some pain in it. Like there's some discomfort and there's something wrong, right?
And what's funny is we don't mind if someone else is going through pain, or because one of my, on the Strengths Finder, my highest strength is empathy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're hurting, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man, that, you know, so I've had to learn how to healthily, deal with that. But so many times what we're doing today, we are actually causing more pain by keeping someone from experiencing pain.
Exactly.
Because it's not helping them any. You know, it's like not when a kid does not have to, it's cutting the cocoon and the butterfly will die because it doesn't have to deal with the struggle. And the struggles are what makes us stronger.
You know, I was just reading last night, 1 Corinthians 12 talks about we need to mourn with those who mourn, rejoice with those who rejoice. And I think some of it goes to what you just said. We don't want to mourn. We don't want to have empathy for others. We don't want to experience that. So we pretend like they shouldn't be mourning,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like they're not mourning. Like, you just need to suck it up is a phrase that we actually use. We actually believe. Like I don't want to mourn right now. I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
So you need to be in a good place.
Your death really came at an inconvenient time for you.
Exactly.
That's what happens. It is inconvenient.
Yeah. And yet the Bible's really clear about no. Sometimes we're in a season of mourning, not because something has happened to us even,
Right.
but because we love other people.
Right.
And I think, again, we live in a culture that is so caught up in not wanting to experience any of these things.
Yep.
That we will do whatever it takes, and then we've lost a lot of empathy.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't want my kid to see that or whatever. Yet, kids are playing these video games that are killing everybody and everything else, and well, that's okay, but we can't let them see the evening news or whatever the case is. Death is a part of life. Do I think we should traumatize kids by showing them? No, not at all. But there are some things that none of us we can avoid, because there are times for things. Sometimes things don't work out the way we want them to work out. And I got stuck in traffic last night coming home, and had a wonderful trip. And it's like, really.
This
and I was really pretty pleased with myself, because I didn't like go ballistic and was like, what's going on, and because I was saying, I found out there was an accident. I'm like, someone could be dying. There was some. I saw everything I need to know in life I learned in kindergarten.
Yeah.
There was one thing I took away from that. So a lump in your gravy, a lump in your throat, and a lump in the breast are not the same things. Two are an inconvenience. One is a problem.
Yep. Oh,
and
there's another chasing the wind. Man, this is growing.
So it's how I have to remind myself that sometimes, is this an inconvenience, or is this really a problem?
Well, and I think, again, it's so funny how perspective changes those things, right? What starts off as an inconvenience, then we find something out, right? Yeah. And now all of a sudden we think about it totally different. I was sitting with somebody yesterday. We were talking about something, and they just stopped, and you could tell like there was this aha moment, and they're like, "I've never thought about it that way. Didn't even think about thinking it that way." And you're like, "Oh, so you've been carrying around all this anger and frustration and all this stuff because you didn't think about someone else." The very thing the Bible tells us, like, hey, think about other people.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, that's a great place to stop this time for Counterculture. We want you to understand that there's a season, there's a time for everything, right?
To season you.
We want
Watch
to be
for
seasoned.
it on Chasing the Wind.
Chasing the Wind, right?
It's coming to a Facebook posting near you.
There we go. We want you to be seasoned. So don't hurry the season, or seasoning. Ooh, there you go. Don't hurry the seasoning, right? But also, don't stay in the seasoning mode when God wants you out.
Yes.
That's equally as important. I can't wait to watch Chasing the Wind. Hey, we'll see you next time. Counterculture.
Grace and peace.